Hi everyone, welcome to another Diablo Immortal video. So this video is PvP related for Necromancers. Now, I've been really enjoying my Scarecrow build for PvP, where I've got a lot of fear damage and I take in Wraith Form, Command Skeletons, Mages and also Bone Spirits, and I've been having really good fun with that. And I've now tried Convoy for the first time and realised how small the map is and how chaotic it is. And I was talking in that video where next time I try it, I should really try and take in a Golem build, the Wiltbloom Essence. So I think it's about time I finally put together a Golem build and tried it properly in PvP to see how I get on. Now there has been some changes for Necromancer in PvP as per the latest patch in the game. This was mentioned in the patch notes. So Wiltbloom, which is the Golem Essence that I'm about to show in this video, the damage reduction is reduced from 40% to 50%. And there was a developer's note as well, and at the bottom it did mention that there's increased defensive capabilities for Necromancers. So those are now in effect, and I'll be experiencing those changes when I now play PvP for Necromancer. So yeah, as I said, I think it's about time I take in a Golem build, and I've been having a play around at the Essence Transfer NPC. So without being influenced by anything else, I've just basically been putting together a build and doing a bit of testing at the training dummy, a bit of trial and error with a few of the essences to see what worked. So in terms of skills, I've kept Soulfire, but I've taken the Golem in, which is the Wiltbloom Essence, where I'm going to be encased in the Golem, which is one of the newer Golem essences they introduced. I want to take in all my summons, so as well as Golem, I've got Command Skeletons and Skeletal Mages, and I've got Wraith Form in there just for survivability. So let's take a look at the essences which I've come up with. So first of all, it's worth pointing out, this is the Golem essence I've been talking about, Lethal Protector, which is called Wiltbloom. So this is where Command Golem now encases you within the Golem, empowering you and making you immune to knockbacks, while also increasing your movement speed and reducing all damage you take. Now that damage reduction is what I mentioned earlier, that's been adjusted in the patch notes. Additionally, you will gain several new abilities. Command Golem damage increased by 18%, and I've got an additional 10% cooldown. So that's the main essence for this build, and I've basically been playing around with all the other essences to fit around this one. And this is what I basically come up with. So for the helm, I said I wanted to go in with all of the summons that I have and enjoy them in PvP. Now it's really good that they've made the skeletons and the mages untargetable now with these new essences. So I've gone in with Spectral Warriors. So this is where Command Skeletons now summons untargetable Spectral Warriors that can be ordered to rush to a location and explode, dealing damage and fearing enemies. So I've still got the fear in this build, which is quite nice because I wanted to keep hold of that, and works nicely with Chip of Stone Flesh that I have as well. Additionally, the Spectral Warriors will sacrifice themselves, exploding on enemies that are feared. Command Skeletons damage increased by 18%. I get an additional 10% damage for the Awakened slot as well. So that's the helm. Now for the chest, I've taken in Wraith Form just due to having some survivability when I do come out of the Golem. If I do get in a sticky situation, I can click Wraith Form and just get out the way. And there's not many Wraith Form essences within the chest piece. This is the one where activating Wraith Form removes all effects which cause loss of control or decreased movement speed. And I get that cooldown reduction as well. So this is basically for survivability. Now for the shoulder, I've gone in with Festering Wounds. This is where Skeletal Mage damage is increased by 15.2% for each harmful effect the enemy suffers from, up to a maximum of 60.8%. So it's a really huge amount that you can stack up to. Skeletal Mage cooldown increased by 10%. Now I've got a lot of harmful effects coming from some of my legendary gems, especially some burning related ones and ignite status as well, Starfire Shard, a Rolling Consequence. The only thing I don't have is poison because I got rid of Viper's Bite in this build. But apart from that, I've got some harmful sources coming from elsewhere. So what I found is the other thing I was going to use instead of Festering Wounds was Depletion and Renewal, which is down here if I just go over to it. And I was basically testing between Depletion and Renewal and Festering Wounds. So Depletion and Renewal is where Skeletal Mage grows in size and strength the longer it is active, increasing its damage by 45% after 5 seconds. Now because they're untargetable, they're not going to be able to be killed, which means they'll grow in size and strength to the full amount and deal that increased damage. But after testing at the training dummy, I found that Festering Wounds did more overall damage. It basically outperformed depletion and renewal every time I tried it. It consistently did more damage, and also I was dealing more damage from the summons with Festering Wounds. So that's why I decided to drop depletion and renewal and stick to Festering Wounds. For the legs, I've got Wraithform, and I do want to stick to Fear as well. So when I do come out of that Golem, if I want to quickly fear some enemies and get out the way, I can do so with Banshee, Proximal Fear. I really like this essence, and like I said, it works nicely with gems like Chip of Stone Flesh. So I'm going to keep this one on. Wilt Bloom, already shown, is my main essence for the main hand. Now for the second one, I've gone with No Rest, No Peace, where when command skeletons die, they grant nearby allies 38% increased attack speed for 3 seconds, and I get a 10% cooldown reduction as well. Now there are two essences that I was playing around with here. It was either No Rest No Peace or there was Pierce Hammer, and I was testing between these two. So Pierce Hammers, where I get increased 19% damage from command skeletons, and the life increase. Now I don't need a life increase because firstly they are untargetable, and secondly they're going to go and explode at the enemy. So I'm not really bothered about the awaken property. And the damage increase, I was testing at the training dummy, and each time I tried with No Rest No Peace, by a long shot I was dealing way more damage consistently compared to Pierce Hammer. So that's why I'm sticking to No Rest No Peace. Scattered Light for the shield, this is a no-brainer. I want to take in my mages and I want them to be untargetable. So this is where Skeletal Mage now summons untargetable spectral mages that cast Hungering Soulfire at enemies. After being struck by a total loss of control effect, a spectral mage can sacrifice itself to remove the effect. Additionally, now this is the important bit, spectral mages will be summoned passively while you're in combat, and I get an increased 18% damage. Now this means when I am within the Golem, I'm going to get that passive skeletal mage that spawns all the time, continuously hitting the enemies that are going to be untargetable. So that's what I'm taking in Scattered Light. And for the last one, now this is another one that I played around with. I'm pairing something up which works with my Golem damage, so I went with Beacon of the Lead. Command Golem damage increased by 19%, and I get an additional life increase as well. But the other essence that I was going to go in with was Corrosive Slab, which is down here. So this is where Command Golem also makes nearby enemies vulnerable, causing them to take 15.2 increased damage. So you get like an area effect around you as you're walking around whilst you're in the Golem state. Now, I was trying at the training dummy, and once again, I did about 4 tests at the training dummy. Each time Beacon of the Lead was outperforming with the Golem damage and total damage compared to Corrosive Slab. So that's why I've stuck to Beacon of the Lead for this one. So this is my initial loadout that I've gone with. Just by trial and error and a bit of playing around at the training dummy, I've decided to come up with this combination of essences. Now I may tweak this as I go along, but the ones which I tested at the training dummy, I think I'm going to stick to them as they are. I think the only thing that I may swap around, depending on how I get on with this build, would be the 2 Wraithform essences. So I've got Ethereal Boundary and Proximal Fear. So I'll see how often I actually get a chance to use Wraithform with this build. And if it does come in handy for survivability, then I'm going to keep it in. Now in my build, I have Colossus Engine, which I'm using, the latest 5-star legendary gem in the game. This gives me Colossal Strength for 6 seconds, which increases my skill damage, and it also increases your size and skill range. Now this actually works together with Wilt Bloom. Now when I click the Golem, you'll notice the size increased. Take a look at this. Now this is a huge Golem, so you can see it works with Colossus Engine, and I love that. So I get this giant Golem. If you wait a few seconds, there we go, the size has gone back to the normal size that the Golem is in, and this also stacks together with the Protector Warband buff as well. So that's one thing worth pointing out. So when I do use Command Golem, I am going to make use of the colossal size when I am in that Golem state. And as you can see, when I'm in the Golem, I get this beam, I get this stomp, and I get these 2 ground attacks as well. The other thing worth mentioning is my set items. So I've gone in with 2 pieces of Feasting Barons pack. This increases the duration of your harmful effects by 30%. I have a lot of Fear and Burning harmful effects for this build. Now, I also have Banquet of Eyes 2-piece. Damage dealt to enemies suffering from your continual damage effects increased by 15%. So things like ignite status, that will do continual burn damage. That will help with Banquet of Ice. And I also could have done like 2 pieces of Shepherd set because I'm using a summon build. So I may think about that. For the last 4, I've just gone in with 4 pieces of Angment. So this is so I can deal ignite status on the enemy and deal that continual damage. For Paragon, I'm just sticking to Gladiator. So I've got Uncontrollable, Grizzled Veteran, To the Victor, Overpower and Cheat Death, just for survivability really. Okay, at the training dummy, I'll show the harmful effects that are on the target. So you've got Rolling Consequence, Starfire Rain. There's also going to be burning happening. Here we go, burning, continuously taking effect. Fear, reduced movement speed and attack speed reduction. So there's a lot of debuffs and continual damage and harmful effects going on with the enemy with this build. Now what I'll just do now, I'll just do a damage test on the training dummy. Okay, the training dummy has been reset. I'm just going to attack the training dummy for 60 seconds. So I'm going to start off with a Fear, Command Skeletons, Mages and then the Golem. And I'm going to be using all of the Golem skills continuously. You can see my attack speed has gone on. That attack speed has gone up because the Skeletal Mages died. And then they increase the attack speed for myself and my summons. I've got Fear on the enemy. Back in the Golem. Carry on doing the Golem skills. Oh, I love that skill effect that happens with one of the Helibri bosses. I've got that as a bonus on one of my legendary items. I'll go back in the Golem again. And we've just got nearly 10 seconds to go. There we go, we've got the other mages back. Mages, Command Skeletons have all been cast. 2 more. There we go. So if I pause it there, I've got about 93.8 million as my total damage. And you can see my DPS there as well. And as if I look at the breakdown, you can see Command Golem is doing most of the damage there as well. Minimal from the other summons, but they are helping out. And then you can see I've got 13.7% damage coming from legendary gems. So that's pretty much a quick test at the training dummy. So that is the build that I've just been playing around with today and just been messing around with the essences without being influenced by anyone else. So just let me know in the comment section if you've spotted something which I can sort of tweak around or any suggestions. That's my initial loadout. Like I said, I am going to be playing around, and I did do quite a long test at the training dummy for the shoulder essence, the weapon essence and the shield essence. So that's Festering Wounds, which outperformed Depletion and Renewal, and that's No Rest No Peace, which outperformed Pierce Hammer, and Beacon of the Lead, which outperformed Corrosive Slab. So that's why I picked those lot. I wanted to use all of the summons in PvP because I'm a Necromancer. I want to enjoy my summons, and that's why I have gone in with the Mages, the Command Skeletons and the Golem. Wraithform is there for survivability. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to be trying this build out in a normal Battleground map as well as Convoy and see how I get on. So before I jump into a Battleground match, let me double check my skills just to make sure nothing is cancelled out there. So for the primary, I've got Soulfire. I've got an additional 2% damage from my charm, and the ultimate is Hungering Soulfire, which is my favourite out of the 2. Command Golem is a damage and buff. You can see I've got Lethal Protector active there, which is where the Command Golem now encases you within the Golem. And you've got your primary attack, which is a short range cleave, and then the skills you have are Soul Crush, Soul Slam and Soul Blast. I've got the Command Golem damage increase by 19% and the life increase. I've also got the size increase by 10% as well, extending the range of its attacks by 10% from my main hand. If I click on the skeleton, I have the damage skeleton, and that's the passive one, the Spectral Warriors. And if I go down, I've got when Command Skeletons die, they grant nearby allies 38% increased attack speed. And I've also got a 10% chance to summon additional skeletons, while also increasing how many you can control from my main hand. For the mages, it's a summon skill. I've got the Spectral Mages there, and they're a passive one as well. And I've also got the damage increased by 15.2% for each harmful effect the enemy suffers from, and that can go up to a maximum of 60.8%. I've got some cooldown reduction, and I've got an additional 2% damage from my charm. Wraithform is my buff and control skill. I've got Banshee, where I can fear nearby enemies. I've got increased damage, and Wraithform will remove all effects which cause loss of control or decrease my movement speed. And I've got an additional 2% damage from my charm. So as you can see there, nothing is cancelled out, which is good. So I'm going to first of all try this build out in Battleground Convoy, which is the new mode. It'll be the first time that I'm trying Convoy with this build to see how I get on. It'll be interesting to see how the Golem copes in that confined space with a lot going on. So this will be interesting. So I'll do one match with Convoy, and then I'll do a normal mode match and see how I get on. Okay, here we go. So this is the party setup on both sides. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how I get on now with this build, and yeah, I want to see how squishy I am as well. I presume I'm still going to die quite quickly, depending on how the matchmaking is, but I'm curious if I am able to get some kills with this particular build. So here we go. So I'm going to head to this idol first and stay on this idol, help push this until some enemies come in. Get the skeletons and the mages up. Jump into the golem now. There's some enemies coming. Hercules, take on Hercules. Hercules doesn't want to die. Oh, it's okay, somebody else killed Hercules. Let me just quickly grab some health. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I did keep Wraithform. Just getting out the way, getting back to the hill point, it just makes it a lot quicker. It's going to take me a while to get used to getting a bit more stuck in. I'm used to staying back, firing my summons at the enemies, doing fear, soulfire, and bone spirits from far away. Okay, that guy's got some big wings. I don't really want to be taking him on one-on-one. And there's quite a few people at that idol. We'll go back to heal up again. I love the fact that they've got a heal point in this map. Let's head to the idol on the right here. Push this along. Oh, actually, I went a bit too far. Wow, I'm being feared. Let's see if we can get back without dying. Someone's chasing me all the way back. Oh, that was close. Okay, nearly died there. Let's get the summons back up again. Get back in the golem. Some of these people just not dying. This guy especially. Oh no, get back. That was really close again. I feel like I'm dealing a lot of damage, just not getting that final kill in. A whole group of enemies there. Oh, I think this is a really tough team we're against as well. I can see my team members dying quite quickly. It's not just me. And now there's too many there. There's no point me leaping into that. Even my party, like 3 people, is dead. Okay, let's fear that enemy there. It seems like we're having to fight at our spawn point. I've not really had that before in the Convoy mode. Wow, they're right at our spawn. Sacred Guardian's about to appear. I forgot to mention in my other video that when you kill the Sacred Guardian, you get a buff for your team, which is a really cool new feature of Convoy mode. And I'm glad they introduced that as well. Kind of like the Guardian that spawns in Conqueror. But this time you actually get a buff for defeating. Oh, the enemy defeated. They're going to get quick resurrection. So that's not good at all. I hadn't died for ages, I got a bit stuck in there. I was trying to push that idol a bit more up north. I wasn't really getting much help. Yeah, when I've got like 4 people on me, even when you're at the golem, when you're encased in the golem, it's still quite difficult. Wow, that was quick. But at least I got to see what the build is like. It was just trying to get used to just being a bit more close. I'm gonna join clan member. Monkey is really good, so we're gonna jump in together and see how we get on for the second match. Okay, here we go. So this time I have a squad member, and let's have a look at the party. So this is who we've got on both sides. Oh, I recognise Therapy. That's going to be quite tricky to go up against. He's quite a tough player. It's not going to be good. It's going to be brutal. Damn. Okay, well, let's just see how we get on anyway. Okay, 10 seconds until the battle begins. Here we go. Yeah, this build is kind of a mix between staying up close when you're encased in the golem and then making sure you stay back when you're out of the golem, and sort of in and out sort of thing. You can't really stay in one form for too long. Come on, die. Ugh. Really hoping I was going to take that player out. Who's stuck on no health for quite a long time. Yeah, one thing which I don't like is it's really hard to see your squad mate. Oh, I killed Therapy. Wow, okay, that was lucky. Yeah, it's quite 3 kill streak. I don't know how that happened. It's quite hard to see your squad mate in the Convoy map, and it would have been nice if it was highlighted better, because they've added that feature to bring in a squad mate in Convoy, but then with the map being so small and chaotic, it's really hard to just keep track of where your squad mate actually is. It would have been nice if they're sort of illuminated on the map or flashing or something like that, just to show you, and then you can stick together. Okay, we managed to push this idol quite far. I really have to be careful of the stomp for the golem, because I can accidentally go in too far with that stomp when I'm not planning to, and accidentally like jump into the enemy. Okay, I'm gonna have to defend a bit there. We pushed our idol quite far, but I think it's time to defend this area here. There's far too many enemies. I'm not going to be able to stomp in the middle of them. Am I? No, that was probably a bad idea. I was seeing if I could take anyone out. No, I'm going to have to raise form back to the hill point to get the skeleton mages and the champions up. Let's try defend again. Okay, we're kind of stuck at this idol. There's another golem. Golem versus golem. Oh my god, that was quick. Somebody said in the chat, bad matchmaking. See, this is what annoys me about PvP in this game. I mean, they've introduced a new mode. It's a great new mode, nice concept. But then you get matches like this and it completely puts you off. Oh, okay, well, I'm not going to do any more Convoy there. That was pretty cool. Me and my squad mate, we were top 2 and I got MVP on that match. So that was pretty cool at least. Kind of made up for the defeat. But yeah, I'm not going to do any more Convoy for today. Okay, so Monkey and I did end up doing one more Convoy match after the previous 2 defeats, and yet again we got another defeat. But I did end up at the top of the leaderboard that time, and I did get 8 kills or so. So it is showing me that this build is actually doing a decent amount of damage. But yeah, I'm going to go and do a normal Battleground map now and see how I get on. Okay, match found. Let's see how I get on with the normal Battleground map. Okay, here we go. We're attacking. I don't recognise any of the names. I think Morning Star is a name that I've heard before. Okay, I reckon it will be a fairly tough match. What is cool is I have got my third rank 8 potency now. So I'm really happy about that. That's the third rank 8 potency. I'll probably switch over to an armor penetration now and try and get another armor penetration to 8. But yeah, I'm really happy to at least got 3 of those rank 8 potencies. I think there's rank 7 resistance, rank 8 resistance. I think I'm going to pause on resistance. I'm keeping that as it is. Potency I wanted to get to rank 8, and yeah, I've got some armor up to rank 8 as well because I'm quite squishy. I didn't want to die too quickly, so I thought I'd bump my armor. But I think I'll work on armor penetration next. Okay, let's see how this match goes. Now, I reckon I'll be able to take down the Sacred Guardians a lot quicker when I'm in Golem form compared to before. Oh, the enemy's already jumped in. This guy just like ran straight into our team. Okay, there's somebody here. Wow, someone's killing me just before the chokehold area. Let me heal up. I am going to miss the healing pool at the start in Convoy when I go back to playing this mode each time. Okay, I didn't get the kill on Morningstar. Now, one thing I have to be careful here is trying not to accidentally do the leap into the enemies just before these idols when I'm in Golem form, because that could be quite deadly. I could, like, if I accidentally do that and leap in between, I'll just be giving them an easy win. Okay, let's heal up and try go for the right idol. Get the summons up again. Let's Wraith form in towards this idol. Go into Golem form and see if we can take down this player here. Yes, okay, we took down that player. Let's stay on the right hand idol and see how far we can push this. If we can get this at least halfway before the enemy team comes here. Now the enemy's going to come now. Get my summons up. And that's quite good. A few team members went up ahead. That was decent team play there. Okay, into Golem form. Let's see if we can take out this player Imp. Okay, I didn't get the final kill, but I hopefully helped with an assist there. Okay. So it's really important to have that Wraith form ready for when you get out of the Golem state so you can quickly Wraith out again. Get yourself out of a sticky situation, and that's why I wanted to keep Wraith form in this build. I think if I did swap Wraith form out, I would have definitely died there. So I think I'm definitely going to keep Wraith form in this build. That guy had a really funny name. Okay, there's somebody down here. Actually, I'm not going to chase. Let me just help push this left idol. Okay, go interfere someone there. Go back and heal up. Get the summons back up again after this. Get the summons down there. Back into the Golem state. Deal some damage around the idol. And head back to heal again. Oh, someone got me from behind. I did not see that. That player came from behind. Okay, let's switch over to the right hand idol. It's quite good this team is pushing both idols at the same time. They're doing what you're supposed to be doing in this Battleground map. So we've got some decent players that understand what to do, which is good. Okay, I was getting chased there. Somebody else in a Golem here. Gotta be careful. They're chasing me. I'm going to head over to the left hand idol now. There's someone still chasing. Let's get rid of them actually. There we go. They were quite annoying, just chasing us from behind. Get my summons back out. Oh, let's retreat. So that time I used my Golem to retreat. So yeah, I can use Wraith form and the Golem to get out of sticky situations, because the thing is, when I use Golem, Colossus engine kicks in, and I can sort of get out the way quite quickly. I've got that size increase as well. It's quite nice seeing a giant sized Golem when I do click on a Golem because of Colossus engine. Okay, we're so close. Get the summons out there. Back in the Golem state. Let's see if we can get any kills here. Third kill streak. Oh, pushing it a bit too much. Get out. Okay, let's heal up and go for the final push. Oh, my health is dreadfully low. I'm gonna need some health potions before I head towards the Ancient Heart. Okay, the Ancient Heart is exposed. Let's use Wraith form. I do want to have a go at the Ancient Heart in Golem form. Let's at least hit the Ancient Heart a few times. Okay. Bit too many players there. And there we go. Finally had a victory in the normal Battleground map. Unfortunately, I was dead at the end, but I got a bit caught. I think I did my bit for the team there. Not bad there. That was quite good. Takeshi, he did really well with MVP. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching and seeing how I put together this build and using it in Battleground and Convoy and a normal map. I think I'm going to have fun playing around with this build and using it more. I do like that I still have my skeletal champions and skeletal mages that I can stand back and throw towards the enemy, still doing that damage and fear as well, so I'm not losing out on that. And then when I do want to switch to the Golem, I can switch to the Golem and deal some hand-to-hand combat and the beam and everything like that, and Hulk smash my way around. The damage is pretty decent as well, and I do like that I have kept Wraith form to get out the way out of sticky situations and still do the fear as well. So I think I'm definitely going to stick to Wraith form in this build. Hopefully you found this one useful. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know in the comments section if you've got any thoughts on the build, things I could tweak or things I may have missed. But I think this is working quite nicely for my particular playstyle. I'm finding it fun, I'm finding it effective as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.